Hi, this is Denise Mathew, and today I'm going to do a viewer request. This is a request to do these cowrie shell earrings. The hardest part of making these earrings for me was to actually find the shells. I know there are different types of shells. I've used the shells that are sliced in the back like this. There's others I think that have a hole in them. I think this method will work for pretty much any kind of cowrie shell you're going to have. You could use more or less cowrie shells if you like. You could even do a single and that would work perfectly well. These ones are fairly long at 3 inches, and cowrie shell sizes that I've used are 1.75 inches and then 1/2 inch. Again, you could use all the same size. You could use smaller ones to make a more petite earrings. You could have hooks, or you could have a post earring findings, whatever you prefer. So let's get started. So you're going to measure your wire. I'm working with a 22 gauge wire, and you're going to measure your wire according to your cowrie shell. I'm going to just lay the wire alongside the beads. Now I want to have a little bit of a tail because that will be where the loop will be. And then adjust the length of the wire, and you could probably just go a little bit more than that because you just want to make sure you have enough wire. And then just bend it in half at that point. So you would have this, and then just trim it. And then you would have it's about double the length of the beads with a little bit more. So for this project, this is about 8 inches of wire. So just center it, so you're just going to bend it in the center like that, and then just go and take your bottommost bead. So because these are cowrie shells, they don't have actual holes. Now I know that some have holes. The ones I'm working with don't have holes. Because of that, I'm going to do it in a way that's going to make it most secure. If you have holes, you might want to do it a different way. My way isn't the only way, but this is a way that I found that worked the best, and it actually kept the beads in place. So just take that wire, that bottom part of wire, and you just want to slide it along the opening of the cowrie shell, so you have it on the back side and on the front side. So once you do that, you just want to tuck it right in there, right into that center as much as possible. The more it's tucked in, the better it's going to hold your shell in place. So now that that's done, you can just use your fingers just to twist the wire, or I like to use pliers. Now what this is going to do, it's going to tighten up the wire around your shell so that it's not going to be loose. You could do a wrap, just wrap the wire around, but I didn't find that worked as well. It didn't hold the bead in place very well, and bottom line is you want to have earrings that are going to stay in place and they're not going to fall apart the first time you use them. So just take your pliers. Now this is a little bit of finesse. You don't want to go too much. You just want to go the right amount of twisting of the wires because you don't want to break your wires. So just, if you notice, I'm just going to do a couple twists like that. And when you do the couple twists, you're going to notice that the wire is going to get tighter. So if you notice, it's quite tight now, and it's hard to move. And because it's tucked into that space there, it's holding the bead in place really well. So I've just done about 2. You could do more if you wanted to, but I'm just going to do 2. So that's what I would have. And then the next thing is you're just going to do the exact same thing. It doesn't really matter which wire you use to put in the front. I mean, I'm just going to do it like that, sort of a V, and then just put it right in. Now when you do this, you want to push it down, push the wire into the center of the shell again, and just tuck it right in. And because there's a little bit of a space up there, it tucks well. It tucks in pretty well. And then again to the back side. Now if they bend a little bit, you can always straighten them at the end, that's fine. And just do the exact same thing. It's not important that how many twists, but just try and keep them consistent between all your shells. So that would be probably sufficient because that's going to hold it together. And then just do the exact same thing, your last one. And then when you are actually putting these in, make sure that you're pushing the beads so they're close together. So something like that. And this is very sturdy. If you notice, it's very, very sturdy. They're not going to fall out. So I'm just going to go to the top again and then just do a little twist, and everything is nice and tight. So this is what we have. And then the only thing you're going to do now is to finish it off. I just trimmed off one and then just do a 90-degree angle, wrap the wire around pliers like that, and then you're just going to wrap with whatever is left over. This is why you want a little bit extra when you're measuring ahead of time. So you're going to just tighten that up. I'm just using crimp pliers to tighten up my wrap. You don't have to use that, but I find it makes them nice and tight. So then that would be your finished earring. Now, if they're a little bit crooked, you can just sort of adjust them a little bit like that so that they're more straight. And then most times I use hooks to put on the earrings to finish them, but it's very easy just to use a post as well. Some posts come with a open loop, but this one doesn't. So I'm just going to put a jump ring through it and then just hook up my earring to it and then close that up. And then I would have my finished earring, and then you could just use a backing on that as well, or the other option is just to use a regular hook and just put that on. And because the loop is made flat-wise, it'll fit on a hook perfectly fine and it will hang exactly the way you want it to. So this concludes the tutorial. I hope you liked it. If you did, please like, share, subscribe, and comment. We'll see you next time. Thanks for coming. Bye for now.